Is the art world being held hostage by a bunch of... Last year, a rotting banana sold on the secondary art market for $6 million. Let's talk about what's really going on with this and conceptual art in general. Hi, I'm Kelly O with kellyo'neillcreative.com. And on my channel, we talk about all things art and creativity, and sometimes I show you some of my own work and my collage process, and thanks for being here. First, a definition. What is conceptual art? So conceptual art is really just art that places more of an importance on the message that the artist is putting forth, the idea. That's more important than the execution or the appearance of the image created. So today, let's just focus on the infamous banana duct tape artwork by conceptual artist Maurizio Catalan. He calls this piece comedian. Now, comedian is just a single banana affixed to a wall with one strip of silver duct tape. It was exhibited at Art Basel in Miami in 2019, and a few copies were sold for anywhere from $120,000 to $150,000. It drew such huge crowds that eventually the event organizers had to remove it from the exhibit because people were wanting to take selfies with it, stuff like that, but not before an artist took it off the wall and ate it in his own spontaneous performance art piece that he called Hungry Artist. Comedian then went on to sell in the secondary market for $6 million. I don't know if there's ever been any other productions mounted of Hungry Artist. So what are people buying? Certainly not a rotting banana, because the banana is usually just theoretical. It's like Schrodinger's banana. People are buying a certificate of authenticity. But still, it's just a piece of paper, an authentic piece of paper. People are super happy to have it, though, apparently, obviously. And the art world is a little bit beside itself. They're tripping over themselves in adulation of this artist that they will somehow simultaneously call possibly the greatest artist in the world, but also possibly the worst. So what is the point? What is the message of comedian? It's a statement on the banality of the art world. It's a satirical critique. The artist calls it a joke or a prank. But when you see this, do you laugh? I mean, laugh like when you see a joke, a real joke. My problem with this joke, other than how facile the message is, as an appreciator of good comedy and as a truly hilarious person myself, my problem with it is that it isn't funny. So it's not deep, it's not funny, so it better be pretty, right? But no, it's not pretty. It's not any of those things. These are the three criteria I have for most things. My interpretation of comedian is, I've never heard anybody say this, but the banana, obviously phallic, and the duct tape, tools of kidnappers and rapists, tell me that the art world is being held hostage and by a bunch of... Contrary to prevailing wisdom, in my opinion, I think that the average cartoonist who deals in social commentary or politics is better at this sort of pranky, jokey kind of art than conceptual artists ever are. Don't they do the same thing? It's the emphasis on the idea over the execution of the image. But the important difference for me is that in general, most cartoonists, even if their message is something that I don't agree with, I find usually they're pretty clever and they're easily accessible. Something most conceptual art never or rarely is. Cartoonists might be called artists, but they're not called fine artists. And they might be shown in museums and auctioned at Sotheby's, but not for millions. They're treated differently from conceptual artists just for completely made up reasons. That's actually the point of the banana thing, isn't it? But instead of that message changing anything in the art world just doubles down. It's really something to see how much people will pay to be the butt of this global joke. As the great Robin Sprigg says, this stuff is meant to demoralize you. And I think he is exactly correct. However, you can choose to not be demoralized. And you must. I mean, we have to fight it. And the best way to do that is to just stay on guard. Ask ourselves, how am I being manipulated? Look up Yuri Bezmenov. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. He's ex-KGB. And you can find him on YouTube, all kinds of places, talking about ideological subversion and how the perception of reality can be manipulated through a long process of demoralization. Does this describe the concept of conceptual art? Anyway, if filthy rich people traveling in their own circular bubbles are entertained by the banana or other pieces of really shallow, ugly concept art that can't even bother to be funny, if they want to trade their millions back and forth for it, then, you know, live and let live. However, I will not be dragged into it, and I will not pretend that it is something that it isn't. I will keep making stuff, and I hope you will too. Let me know what you think of this take on conceptual art. Do you think I'm being too harsh on a silly artist that just wants to have some fun? Or do you think there might be something more sinister at play? Or do you think it's something else, somewhere in the middle? Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for being here. Rock on.